we here again. All right, happy holidays, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back to watch my videos. I see the steady climb of views for my videos, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. So, happy holidays. I hope you are having a great time with your friends, family, chosen loved ones, chosen family, etc. You know, it's the time of the year where you start to get reflective. I've definitely been journaling and like thinking like, wow, I've been through a lot this summer and this whole year. And also, like, I've been through a lot last year, and then like this year, things like completely did a 180 in an interesting way. So yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Now, it's time to continue my series, Summer in Nigeria. When I was 8 years old, I went to Nigeria. So, where I last left the story, we had just left the airport. So, you know, like, we make it to my uncle's house, and we're there for a couple of days. And, like, we don't go right away to my grandmother's house for one specific reason. Because, well, it was going to be very exciting things for this side of my family. My cousin would be turning 1 year old. Now, this was significant because this was the first boy cousin on my family side, on this specific family side, which meant that this was going to be the first cousin that bore the family name. Like, on my grandmother, on this grandmother's side. Yeah. So yeah, we were going to be staying with my uncle for a little while because we obviously had to celebrate my cousin turning 1 year old. It was a very exciting time. I just remember when I first got to Nigeria, one of the first things I really struggled with was like the time difference and like sleep. I remember being up all hours of the night, just staring at the ceiling like, it's never ending, is it? And like very wee early in the morning, I'd finally like fall asleep, only for me to have to get up again, like very like, no, it was brutal. And what's so funny about that is I remember distinctly how my cousin's birthday started. That's why I was, you know, to give you a bit of a preface. So my female cousin had come. This was from a different auntie. And I, like my uncle, did I explain this correctly? Okay, let me make sure I'm explaining this correctly. I was staying with the uncle that I came to pick us up. His child, my cousin, was going to be turning 1 year old. That's who we were staying with. A different female cousin had come from my auntie, had come to like obviously hang out and greet us and stuff like that. So I remember like the morning of the birthday party, I was woken up and it was very much not appreciated. I remember my female cousin like was just like sitting next to me on the bed and I'm asleep and she says my name and it's like, wake up. I look at this girl and I'm like, why did you wake me up? She was like, oh, I'm sorry, you can go back to sleep. I'm like, no, I can't now, can I? Because now I'm awake. But thank you for waking me up. Look, your girl was sleep deprived. I'm so sorry. But yes, it was time for the day to start. It was going to be very exciting. I remember a lot had happened that day. So many people started to just like show up at our house. Like within all the 6 bags that I had to hunt down at the airport, there was a couple of things that was like for family members, for the party, etc. So like me, my younger sibling, and my cousin, we were supposed to all be like kind of matching a little bit. We had matching outfits. If you know, you know. And like I remember like my female cousin had seen like what we were going to be wearing and was like, oh, this skirt is actually kind of short. I can't wear this. I'm gonna wear something else. And like my cousin never really spoke about it, but there was the whole thing of, unfortunately, I think what she had to endure a lot of was like her being overly sexualized, if you catch my drift. And like as a kid, I didn't really understand that nuance, but like I just remember thinking, why don't you want to match with me? But c'est la vie. But yeah, we were there, we were getting ready for the party. I was wearing this cute little fit and like mosquitoes decided to eat up and down all up my leg. Like it was great, it was great. I remember like we had watched a DVD, but like that was back when DVDs were on like on 2Ds, were on 2 discs. So like there was like disc A and disc B, and we watched like Catwoman, I think, the one with Halle Berry. And then like we had put on some music, and that's when I was introduced to Yinka Ayefele. scene here. And yeah, no, that was fun. So I remember like my parent had given us a DVD player and like had given us one of those portable like plug-in adapters. And like they kept telling us like, hey, make sure you use this when you're trying to charge stuff. Make sure you use this when you're trying to charge stuff. Yeah, I didn't listen to a word. And so I remember like being there like, oh, I want to watch my DVD. I plugged it into the socket and well, it didn't die right away, but it would eventually die. That DVD stopped working by the end of the summer. I just remember I distinctly did it that day and thinking, why are they making it such a big deal? There's nothing wrong, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, I didn't die that day though, so. But yeah, the party was starting to pick up. People were starting to show up, all sorts of people. Where my uncle lived at the time, I remember people would literally just stop and stare as we were like doing our party and stuff. That was a lot of fun. And I remember like there was an amazing MC who had came and like all these kids that were there, we were all just having a grand old time. I remember I won several games. I just remember like I was having the time of my life. We took pictures with family. It was a lot of fun. We had all the works, we had the cake, and just, yeah, it was a good time. But here's where we ran into a little bit of a, we'll call it a cultural difference, because that's really what it was. While I'm walking around the party, I see a woman holding a piñata. My African parent had packed the piñata in one of the 6 bags that I had to hunt down at the airport. And it was supposed to be meant for the party. Now, anyone who knows what a piñata is, you know what you're supposed to do. You hang it up, you blindfold the kid bashes it open, everyone runs up, grab the candy, and it's the end of the ordeal. So, you know, stuff like that. So I'm walking around the party, I see this woman like just digging her hand into the piñata, just handing the candy out to people. I was like, oh, that's not how that's supposed to work. So I walk up to her and I'm like, hey, that's not how that's supposed to work. And I made a mistake. Because this woman looked at me and was like, how is this supposed to work? And shoves the box into my hand. So now I'm holding this piñata and kids are looking at me like, why are you withholding candy? So I'm handing it out to kids and I'm like, this ain't how this was supposed to go. This wasn't how we were supposed to be doing this. So I go and find my uncle. And I'm trying to explain to my uncle, like, oh, hey, this piñata was supposed to be like a fun little game for the party where you're supposed to hang it up somewhere, you blindfold a kid, you smash it open, everyone runs up and grabs it full of candy and toys, and then the ordeal is over. So as I'm explaining this to my uncle, you know, hang it up, blindfold a kid, smash it open, I'm trying to explain all this to my uncle. I look this man in his eyes. And I realize that he's not hearing a single word I am saying. He's just looking at me like, okay. And I might as well be speaking an alien language, because he was just like, And I look at him and I think to myself, and I'm like, okay. I give him the box and I walk away, because I'm like, I got games to play, I got cake to eat, things to do. You're not gonna waste my time here. So, you know. Later, I remember, like, I don't know if it was like, I can't tell you when specifically. It could have been the next day. It could have been at the end of the summer. I honestly don't know, but I do know I overhear the conversation about this piñata. And I remember my uncle was talking to my African parent, their sibling, and it's like, oh, thank you so much for the party, like, thank you so much for what you contributed to the party, it went out for that. But we didn't know what to do with that one thing that you had sent us. And I hear my African parents say, oh, the piñata, you're supposed to hang it up, blindfold the kid, bash it open, give the whole explanation. And my uncle is like, oh yeah, your daughter was trying to explain that to us, but I really didn't understand what she was saying. But yeah, I remember for a long time in the family, for a long time in the household that I grew up in, like, we still had like the notebooks, you know, the notebooks, like they look like this, and like it had my cousin's like face and everything. I was like, oh, you're turning 1 year old, happy birthday, and like all the extra little details on the back. We used to have it for the longest time. And I remember for a long time, I think when I was elementary school, I used to carry at least one of those like Nigerian notebooks around with me. Or at least there was always one at home. But yeah, that was essentially my cousin's birthday party. Like, our time in Lagos was, at this point now, was finally winding down. We were going to be going to my grandmother's house. So that will be the story for the next day. So, for next time. That will be the story for next time. thank you so much for watching. I hope you tune in to another story time of when I went to Nigeria. But yeah, love you lots, stay hydrated, and most importantly, stay tuned.